Good morning, everyone. My name is Yolanda Snell. I am the owner and CEO of Snell Career College. Lately, I've had to amend the title. We will, within the next couple of weeks, will be Snell Career Institute. I am an Army vet. I am also a surgical first assist, and I became a surgical first assist back in 2009, which what that entitles is as the person who assists the physician and closes the patient while the doctor leaves and takes care of the next patient. And I'm also a surgical technologist, military 91 Delta since 1988. So I've been in the field for over 30 years. I was also a surgical technology instructor at, at Virginia College before they closed. And also a cell processor instructor, because not only does a surgical technology instructor teach surgical technology, but they also teach cell processing. Snell Career Institute is a nonprofit organization that will be funded by tuition. I'll go to the next slide. I am trying to go, okay. Central Cell Processing Technician. What that is a cell processing technician is the person that normally in each hospital, their department is located in the basement or on the first floor. They are the centralized department that sterilizes everything that are used in any kind of surgical procedures, whether they're minor or major. And that's also what does the surgical processing technician department do? They make sure that everything is clean, all the instrumentation is sterilized and ready for surgical procedures. What will I learn throughout the training? Well, you will learn how to, the host muted, I'm sorry.
You're good, keep going. You're good, keep going.
What you will learn as a trainer in, as a trainee in cell processing is you will learn how to learn about nosocomial infections. You will learn how to clean instrumentation to make sure there's no bioburden. When I say bioburden, I mean blood, bone, tissue. A lot of those things are left on instruments when they come back from the surgical suites down to decontamination to be cleaned. That's the process where it starts. It's the cleaning portion. Then it goes through a washing process to an assembly portion where they put the instrumentations back together. And then it goes to a sterilization portion to where they sterilize it and reassemble everything and get it right back up to the OR for surgical procedures. All right, going to the next slide. The problems. All right, a lack of cell processors within our community. I don't know where the local schools are, the one that's closest to Pensacola, but I know that Pensacola don't have one. And it's something that's needed, especially with this COVID-19, dealing with having to have a lot of reprocessed instrumentation and to make sure that everybody's healthy and safe. Throughout the process, all the hospitals here, they have to hire agency workers. These are people who, they're great people, but they're coming from other states. And when they leave, they're taking their money and their profits and stuff to their own community. Meanwhile, we here in Pensacola, we have a lot of communities that are empty buildings, closed companies. We really need to put the money back into our own community. The demand for services is that every medical facility, all the clinics, doctors' offices, plastic surgeon offices, a lot of places, every place that has any kind of procedure, whether it's minor or major, have a need for this service. But there is no educational situation here. So that's what I'm trying to do here for Pensacola, is to bring a facility here that offers this program to help out our own community, not just with the surgical procedures, but also with jobs for our own people here in our community. I'm going to the next slide. Okay, the solution. We have classroom and online programs, which is called a hybrid program. We're working on getting that established. And the program is affordable. The tuition is affordable. It's $4,000. And the programs are 6 months long. And 12-week classes in lab. This slide is kind of self-explanatory. But the program lasts for six months. Going to the next slide. Okay, employment outlook. The average pay for someone coming into this job market, it's about $36,000, and that's on the average. You know, either high and low, depending on where you are and what part of the country you are. But this is kind of self-explanatory as well. It's a really good place to start. It gets people, you know, employed, and it helps people be able to take care of their families. I'm going to the next slide. Once again, the job opportunities, you can find it in the hospitals, dental offices, eye clinics. Oh, wow. There's a lot of places where sterile processing is needed. Even the dental offices, they have little autoclaves to sterilize, re-sterilize, reprocess the instruments that they use on the patients, because most of the stuff that they use, the dental picks and all, they're metal, and all metal has to be cleaned, reprocessed, and taken care of to make sure that there's no nosocomial infections dealing with from one patient to the next. Going to the next slide. Partnerships. This is the awesome part. I've spoken to the educator at Baptist as well as the manager in sterile processing department, and they're both on board with bringing this this greatness to our community. There are like 32 positions, but they're filled. But there are opportunities for people coming and going with Baptist, and they are willing to definitely help out with the clinical portion of this. As Lee Marie, she is a friend of mine. I learned, met her in class, and her company deals with helping us. She provides like a safe haven for abused men and women. And with that, you have to have some kind of rehabilitation to be able to get back on the job market and reinvent yourself and create your own opportunities. So we partnered with that. I also spoke with the educator of West Florida Hospital, who believes this is a really great idea and just waiting for us to go forward with it. And I've also spoken with someone at Career Source Escarosa who believes this is a great idea. And we have more meetings after that to make sure that we go forward with this opportunity. This is awesome. Going to the next slide. This is my email, contact information. Thank you. That's it.
Okay. I have control again. Hi. Thank you so much for the presentations. Wonderful information. One of the things we usually do at this point is we have you give an opportunity to answer any questions that anyone may have. So if you have any questions, please feel free to raise your hand, and they can help control the ability to ask that question. So, or just wave at the screen, whatever we need to do to make it happen. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, there's a couple of questions. Jim, can you unmute them, or?
I think I still have control.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you. Hi, Yolanda. Very good presentation. It looks like you've done a very good amount of homework. I'm wondering, for the smaller offices, would this person be cross-trained in other aspects of helping run the office?
Absolutely.
Okay. What kind of activities or what kind of training would they receive through your institute to make them even more valuable to an office?
Well, they will learn basic medical orientation. We'll know how to take care of patients, basically deal with whatever the policies and procedures are for that particular facility. They may be able to take blood pressures, vital signs, things like that, whatever's needed for that facility.
Okay, that's really good. And I have another question after anyone else has questions. Oh, Les. All right.
I can't hear him.
Les needs to be unmuted. Hold on, Lester. There he is.
Am I live?
You're live.
Okay. Are you in, two questions. One, are you in West Florida? And does this in any way take away from the college education or certification that you would need to do this work?
Yes, I am in Pensacola. I am in Pensacola here, and there is a certificate that's, you know, I'm sorry, I'm not really understanding the second part of the question. They do get a certificate, a certification with this program. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so they're certified, but then my question was, are you doing this in West Florida?
I'm doing this in Pensacola. I haven't
Oh,
established.
Pensacola. Okay. I didn't
Yes.
know if you had to have an affiliation with each hospital.
I would like one, yes, because it gives the students different places to do clinical rotation. Yes, that is my intent.
Thank you.
That's cool.
I didn't hear that.
I have one more question if no one else has a question. Jim Sparks.
And y'all can raise your hand or just type a question into the chat if you want, if you're having troubles getting unmuted. Ms. Snell, $4,000 for 6 months, and you said there's 32 like actual jobs in the area. Is your business? What's the business model here? I guess is the real question. It's like, is this going to be able to sustain itself, or does it need grants?
Yes, and grants and however we get funded. Because we're nonprofit organizations, we accept fundraising, donations, anything that helps, because we're trying to put back into the community. Did I answer your question?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Another question. I think this is so great, and it's a very reasonable price, especially with that kind of a return on investment, for someone to potentially start at 36,000. And you touched on something about the re-entry, targeting a market of people who are trying to re-enter the workforce, or maybe yes. People who've been in an abuse situation or something along those lines. And then that also makes me think about being able to partner with some other nonprofits who, like the Junior League or Impact 100, where they do scholarships to help bridge that gap for people. So that might be something to explore, and I'll email you about some of my ideas for exactly that, because you could really, you could bridge a gap for people that are just not able to find something, and 6 months is not a long time. How often would you, yeah, I mean, that's a very reasonable, it's not a 2-year thing where you got to figure out how to live for 2 years and feed your babies for 2 years. So I've got a lot of ideas, but I won't take up the whole time here. Yeah.
Thank you. My contact information is right there. Please call me anytime.
Yes, ma'am, I will. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good.
Mason.
Okay, anyone else? Let's see. Mason, yeah. Nope.
I can't hear you.
Got to unmute him here. Let's see. There he is. Nope. Muted again.
I can't hear you.
Now? Okay.
Yes.
You were talking about building relationships with local hospitals, partnerships, such as, let's say, Ascension or Baptist. What is the first step in building that partnership, or have you taken that first step? And if not, is there something that we could do to help you build those relationships?
I believe I have made that attempt to start those relationships. The great thing about me being here in Pensacola and starting this here in Pensacola is over 30 years, I've worked at every hospital here. So it just happens that I know a lot of people here in my own community, and that helps. But I'll accept any help that you're willing to get. I'm an open door. Bring it on.
Hi, I have another question. Could you explain how Escarosa would fit into this?
Well, I'm still in conversation with Michelle Gasson with that. So this is to be continued. But yes, it is a great idea, and we still have to talk about that. So I can get back with you on that at a later time, if that's okay.
Okay, well, I guess what I'm saying is I don't think a lot of people who are listening understand what Escarosa does. And so Escarosa, as I understand it, is involved with helping to train people and helping people find jobs. And so they would be a conduit for you. And so I just want to make sure that people in the audience understood, I guess, not just how Escarosa fits with you, but also just to talk about them also as a resource for the community. So, so they would be there to I guess, also guide people to your program. And then
Yes, ma'am.
they may also help pay for some of the course. So that would really be great. And then also, as Dr. Graber was saying, Impact 100 gives $100,000 or $100,000 plus grants to nonprofits in the community. And so, yeah, that would be a really great opportunity also.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
think you're,
Thank you.
you know, I think what you're doing is really great. So you're really going to be an economic multiplier for our community because as I understand it, with each class, you'll have 10 students. So you'll be injecting 20 people into the Pensacola economy. And what's great is you were in a discussion you had with me earlier, you had mentioned that people actually travel to different communities with this. So people,
Yes, you don't have to just stay here. Yes, it is nationally certified. You can go anywhere in the country.
wow. So you're going to be
Yeah.
one of the few economic multipliers that really is going to have some clout when the school is open and running. And I just want to make sure that everybody realizes what an impact the Snell Career Institute will be having. So I'll leave right now.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, sir.
Dr. Graber, I have a question. And feel free to unmute yourself and hop in if you want. Yolanda, the Triumph is providing some reimbursement, I think, for nationally recognized certificates in specific industries. Have you looked at their policy on that? Have you looked at partnering with Triumph on this?
No, I haven't.
So you might check out the Triumph Gulf Coast Fund. If you, I think Marcia just said this is a nationally recognized certificate that you're providing.
Yes, yes, national.
Within the industry. So Patrick may know more about that than I do, but I have heard that in those instances that there is some money available. So it might be a way to increase your independence as a nonprofit, I think.
I would really love to have more information on that.
Okay, that's great. Anyone else have questions, or I have another one that I think would be good for this discussion? Okay, so from an entrepreneurial side, looking at the sustainability of your business, are you the only instructor at this point?
At this point, yes. But
Okay.
Once we get up and rolling, there are other people who are ready to come on board.
Excellent. Will you be able to offer, then you could have more than 10 people at a time if you had multiple instructors?
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. Do you have your
I
plan?
just want to make sure that
Yeah.
I say 10 at a time, 10 per instructor, because I want to make sure that they're getting everything that they need.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Will you then focus solely on the sterile conditions, or are you going to then have different certifications or certificates?
There will definitely be different ones. I want to look into surgical technology, possibly surgical first assist, coding and billing, whatever Pensacola needs, I want to provide.
Okay. Do you have to have then, is there a large injection of backing that needs to have financial backing to then create a surgical suite where your school is, or could you
Yes,
partner
ma'am.
with anyone that already has a surgical suite maybe at first?
I can. Yes,
Okay.
ma'am.
That's good. Okay. Keep your costs down. All right. Good. I'll look forward to connecting.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else have any questions? Mr. Jim Sparks.
I'm full of questions. What is the relationship of the university or Pensacola State College to this? Like, I assume they're not teaching this in their nursing program?
No, they are not teaching this here in Pensacola at all.
Why not?
I don't have an answer. I don't work for that company.
Okay.
They just don't see the potential. Yeah. Okay. All right. Anyone else? This is good. Okay. Well, I'll let you.
David Becker had his hand up for a second. Not David Becker, just David.
Just David. Just David.
Yes, sir.
I think he's up there, David M.
One question, Yolanda, from me is, before you started this class, where have people gotten the certifications up to now?
For sterile processing?
Yeah.
Other
Yes.
places? And some people here are not certified.
Mhm.
So a lot of, there's been a lot of grandfathering here. You take
Okay.
someone from another department and you train them to do what you need them to do. But a lot of things are changing and certifications are going to be required within the next few years.
Oh, that's good. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Mm-hmm.
So that actually leads me to my question. Considering the impact that COVID-19 has had on the medical industry, it seems to me like the methodologies for sterilization in any clinical or hospital environment, not just surgical, would need to be reevaluated and perhaps even augmented.
Yes, sir.
Is that a process that you feel begins with your
Yes, I do.
certifications or with your
We
instructions?
start off with hand washing. Yes, we start off with hand washing.
Yeah.
That's where everything starts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, do you think that with the onset of this pandemic, do you think that, I hate to make it sound, I hate to put a positive spin on it, but do you think that this has offered up some opportunities for you in your industry to actually, for lack of a better term, capitalize on this situation and set yourself apart as a specialist in this particular field to better train, new entrants into this
Yes.
particular field?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. If I would say if I hadn't started back in September, then it's definitely something that would, I had to gain because of COVID-19. But because I started this before COVID-19, it's
Mhm.
just something that needs to be done.
Yeah.
Mhm. Good.
A comment came in from Ms. Butler saying, Ms. Yolanda, this sounds like an awesome program, and I believe it'll benefit a lot of young people that are desiring to go into the field. I wish you much success, and I know that you will do well. Ms. Butler.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Thank you.
All right. Any more questions? Looks good and no comments?
Okay. Okay, so now, Ms. Yolanda, what we do now is we ask the question, what can the community do for you? What can the individual from the call do to help you out with your business needs?
The only thing that I'm lacking currently is the accreditation from the Education Department of Florida, the Education School Board, which takes funding. Other than that, I think I have everything else I need. I just don't have the funds to get started with the school board for the accreditation.
What kind of funding do you need? How much?
I think per CIE, I have to start off with at least $10,000. I have to have at least $10,000 in the account
To
to
start.
show them that this is a business yet.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
Okay. Very good. Mhm.
Well, please feel free to forward Ms. Yolanda any information that you guys have that may be of assistance with the accreditation process, with the funding models like Impact 100, some great things like Triumph. If you think of anything else, please let her know, and then it definitely would help her out.